when it is easier for those in power to violate the rights of citizens than for the citizens to seek redress for injustices, it's time for a change. Two things are necessary to save Dalton Township from the corruption and government overreach that has infected it: better people and better policies. In a civilized society, elections take the place of revolutions. They allow for the peaceful transfer of power and the reformation of policies. We've had brave citizens step forward to run for office. Without them, no progress can be made. With them, we have the opportunity to restore rights that have been trampled underfoot by the current township officials. A just government secures the freedom and properties of its citizens rather than attacks it. Now, we must look at what changes are needed to secure those rights. My mother has always extolled the virtue of balance, and it applies to government more than anything else. The United States was founded on the idea of individual rights protected by checks and balances. This is what the Marquis de Lafayette meant when, after the American Revolutionary War, he said, "Liberty now has a country." But that liberty must be fought for by every generation. The reason that the rights of citizens in Dalton Township can be violated by the government is that the balance of power has shifted. We must restore that balance. We must reclaim our rightful liberties. Throughout history, freedom has been gained when leaders who believe in liberty step forward and are then supported by the people. These liberties are sustained when those hard-won freedoms are made clear in documents. Freedom documents that restrain power and protect people from its abuse. Even King George III, the king that the founding fathers fought against for their independence, agreed when he stated, "A bad prince may be restrained, and it is fit he should be so, by the British Constitution." There is no excuse for Dalton Township not having its own freedom documents. Today, we will make a start. The right to speak resolution. There are important points in the Michigan Open Meetings Act, which help to make the government transparent so that it can be held accountable. Unfortunately, the OMA is not enforced. The government violates it at whim, as we have witnessed in Dalton Township. People have contacted me and said that Tony Barnes has even limited them to speaking for 2 minutes at township meetings. It explicitly states in the OMA that no one can be denied the right to speak, and that it cannot be limited to less than 3 minutes. We must go beyond this. I've also witnessed Tony Barnes tell people that they cannot speak to the citizens in attendance, but only to the township board. The township supervisor is no king, and citizens have the right to address the public in public meetings. We must have a Dalton Township resolution that protects these rights. No person shall be denied the right to speak at any public meeting of the Dalton Township government. No person shall be limited to less than 5 minutes. No person shall be denied the right to address the township board or the public. The right to be informed resolution. Whether or not you are able to attend a public meeting of your government, you have the right to know what happened there. The township keeps minutes of the meetings and makes them available. They have to, according to the Open Meetings Act. But the notes kept of the meetings are often useless. You cannot tell what actually happened at the meeting. You have the right to know what happened, and the people that speak have the right to be heard. These meetings should be broadcast live, they should be recorded, and they should be publicly posted. That way, everyone can be informed. I can watch the proceedings of the British Parliament, but not my own township. That needs to change. Public meetings of the Dalton Township government shall be broadcast live. Public meetings shall also be recorded and publicly posted. The right to garden resolution. Sometimes people will get into government positions that believe they can treat people like dolls to be played with, and their property like dollhouses, to be controlled by their will and manipulated by their whims. Maybe they don't like the aesthetic look of tomato plants, so they make an ordinance denying people the right to grow what they choose on their own land. This is unjust. In World War II, people had victory gardens in their yards. It helped people to feed and fend for themselves. It gives people the opportunity to be more independent and self-reliant. The right to grow what you want in the ground that you own is a basic right. No person shall be denied the right to plant, grow, and cultivate vegetables, fruits, herbs, and other vegetation upon the property as they see fit. The right to farm resolution. Farms are the foundation of civilization. Without an ever more abundant and healthy food supply, there is no future for humanity. It cannot be denied that local food sources are healthier. It cannot be denied that local farms help to connect and tie communities together. It cannot be denied that local food sources make a community more independent, resilient, and self-reliant. That's why the Michigan Right to Farm Act exists, to protect one of the most important pillars of society. The Right to Farm Act includes the various ways that a farm can be in compliance with the recommendations to safeguard the rights of neighbors, which are laid out in the Generally Accepted Agricultural and Management Practices, GAMPs. That idea of protecting property unless there is harm done to another is good government. The Right to Farm Act specifically protects local farms from legal harassments such as zoning ordinances and nuisance lawsuits designed to destroy them, and every just government should follow suit. No person shall be denied the right to farm in any way that does not cause demonstrable harm to neighboring properties or individuals. Every home a castle resolution. Limitations upon power and the abuse of power are a prerequisite for liberty. There must be a place where you are able and willing to say, "You shall not pass." If nothing else, this is your home. Do you know why the Third Amendment in the American Bill of Rights is that the government can't order you to let soldiers live in your house? Because it used to be done. The quartering of troops in civilian homes was a common tactic of the British Empire, and it's a huge violation of liberty and property. Your home becomes a prison, and you get the privilege of providing a bed and food for your own personal prison guard. Opposed to this is the idea that each person's home is their castle, whether the right must always go to the owner in any situation in which it does not cause harm to another. Every person has the right to be unharassed upon their own property and in their own home when their activities and property are not causing harm to another. These 5 resolutions are not the end, they are the beginning. We must all question how we can best protect the rights and liberties of the citizens of Dalton Township. By protecting our neighbors, we protect ourselves, and by protecting ourselves, we protect the future of freedom. Dig through history and find the seeds of freedom that should be planted in Dalton Township. Read about the fight for liberty undertaken by the founding fathers of the United States, and see what you want to be incorporated into your freedom documents. Search within your own soul and grasp the eternal truths of freedom and justice. Only when the people of Dalton are armed with this knowledge will they be able to secure the inherent liberties and the just government that they deserve. This is part 17 of Fighting Local Government Corruption, the article series I've been writing. You can also find out more information at fixdalton.com, which will redirect you to my Facebook page. And you can join the Concerned Citizens of Dalton Township on Facebook if you would like to join that group. There are 2 other articles that are quite closely related to this that I've written. One is the 2 things necessary for a better political system. Another one is 5 key documents in the history of freedom. Now, these ideas are just a start. They're just a beginning, something that we should be talking about. Everyone should be talking about. You should be debating it with your friends, with your family, with anyone else that lives in the township or surrounding townships for that matter. But it should be something we are all thinking about, we are all talking about, how we can protect our individual rights better, even at the local level, instead of relying on a larger government. Those rights are inherent, and we should be working on having documents that solidify that and make that real. My name is Jeff Martin. I'm running for Township Supervisor of Dalton. I would appreciate your support if you connect with this video, if you connect with this idea. 1, spread the idea. Talk to other people about it. If you can, like this video, share this video, whatever social media site this video may be on. And try to get involved in a way that will be useful to help not only spread these ideas, but make them a real part of the future, because that's what's really going to make the difference over time. Jeff Martin, signing off.